was loose. For whatever reason 10mm doesn't fit on those. Use an 11. So remove the drum and these 2 bolts to take out. Hopefully the drum will slide off the shoes without catching, and we won't have to adjust the adjusters. Oh, I thought it was going to be a bad day, but it's not too bad now. Oh wow, spring. That explains why we've been having noises in here. So there's a pin, a cup and a spring missing. To make things easy, if you can get your hub off, then I recommend you do it, because it's quite hard getting in here and trying to get to all the bits and pieces. I've actually managed to shear the pin off, so I've got a fight drilling that through now. So I'm going to do it with it on, and it's kind of a demonstration as to how hard it's going to be with it on, I guess. Snipe nose mule grips, little pair, really handy for this job. Push your spring in, turn it around, and it should come straight off. Have a little cup the pin sits in, spring behind it, and then the pin at the back. Now I've got to go and find another one, because the one on the other side is missing. Spring that operates the automatic adjuster. Take that one off first. So that spring hangs onto the top of the adjuster, and then it goes through the hole at the bottom there, on the bottom of the shoe. There we go. So there's a spring that connects here on the shoe. It's quite a strong one, and it goes to an anchor point in the centre. And you also have the adjuster between the 2 shoes. So you have to wind the adjuster in a bit. To do that, just look at which way the thread is, and just turn the adjuster manually with a screwdriver. So it would probably help if I'd taken the handbrake off. There we go. That's right. Okay, shoe. Get that adjuster out. Whoop, spring came off. That doesn't normally happen. So the adjuster goes in like that. Have the fat part at the front and the long part is that the wrong way around? Yep, that's been fitted the wrong way around. Fat part here goes faces forward at the front. The long part should actually be at the back of the shoe. So someone's obviously fitted it the wrong way around. Just want to double check, but I'm not wrong. I can unhook the spring, and that goes into the back of the shoe, and then it hooks onto from underneath onto the little hook on the back plate. Just grab the other spring, and it pulls towards the centre over the hook relatively easily if you can grab hold of the spring. There we go. Whatever you do, don't be breathing this stuff in. Not good for your health. Stupid split pins. Because I can't easily show you on the car, I thought I'd just quickly show you the VIG setup while it's on the floor. So we've got 2 heavy springs. These hook from behind the shoe, and then the hook at this end goes from underneath onto the hook in the centre of the back plate. You've got the spring that goes across the back of the springs at the bottom here, between these 2 holes. Again, that hooks from behind. And then you've got the adjuster spring, which goes into the same hole at the bottom here, and over the handbrake adjuster here, the automatic adjuster. The adjusting bar should have the fat bit at the front, so it should be like that effectively. And where this arm is, the long one goes behind it. So looking at it as it is right now, it goes on like that. So any bits that contact and move, I'll put a bit of copper grease on. So not going to go wild. So a bit in between the forks on the end of the slave cylinder. And on the pivot point at the bottom there. This helps keep things free. Also going to take the adjuster apart, wind it all the way back, give it a clean, and get some copper grease on that too. Don't put loads on, just work it into threads. Excellent, Mr. Bond. Right, let's look at putting it all back together again. The fun part. Okay, first we're going to fit the rear chute, our spring. And we need to hang the spring over the hook in the middle. And lever it back. There we go. I should be able to leave the bottom on here. Oh, the bottom's in already. Here's the chute. Bit of a fight. Need 8 hands to do this. If you can get your spring on, you're laughing. There we go. So to lever it over. Get your top in first if you can. It's going to be a hard one. There we go. And leave the bottom one in. There we go. And the bar's a bit loose in the middle, the adjustment bar. So I'm just going to wind it out so it can't drop off. Oh, in fact, it's moved out of place. There we go. Second time lucky. I'm going to wind the adjuster out just so that it's say taut, so it can't drop and move. You should be able to do it that way. There we go. Right, spring for the bottom. I usually leave this attached to one side and then do the second side once it's on, but I forgot to leave it on. So this is going to be a fight to get this long part. Oh, boom, I forgot the handbrake cable as well. I'm not doing a very good job today, am I? Don't forget your handbrake cable. There we go, spring on the bottom of that. Adjustment spring. In there. Hook it over. There we go. Alright, get your pin, feed it from behind. If you can find the hole. Through your shoe. Get your spring, get your plate. Oh, first time, rock and roll. There we go. Snipe-nosed mull grips for the win. Just on a quick degrease because like a plonker. I think I got a bit of copper grease on the pads, and that's not good. Give the drum a quick wipe while we're at it. Starting to bind. Right, back a couple of turns, a couple of chunks. then we'll go with that. Copper grease your bolts. Don't want these ones to be sheer enough. That'd be a pain in the bum. First of all, I'd just like to apologise if this video isn't up to my usual standard. Normally I would have done a bit more of a breakdown, stage by stage, and move the video around a lot more to get better angles. It started off badly because the pin in the hub through the axle actually got stuck in and then broke off. So I couldn't remove the hub to show you clearly the brake setup, and I was on a real tight time scale to go and collect my boys, and the only way I could do that is in this van. So it was kind of a case of just do it and talk as I go. So yeah, I apologise if it's not to the usual guide standard, but hopefully it will give you a decent idea how to do it if you need to do this yourself, and also with that annoying hub on if you haven't got the ability to remove it. So it's now day 2, throwing it all back together again. I just want to explain how we set the shoes before I drove away. So basically you're supposed to wind the adjuster out in the centre of the shoes, and which winds the shoes out. And you're supposed to give yourself about, I think it's about 1.5 2 mil between the shoes and the drum before you put the drum back on. So there's not much adjustment left to do by the van. To do that, you kind of measure across the drum above the centre in the hole, and then to the outside or the inside edges of the drum. And then you go from the outside of one shoe over the top of the axle to the outside of the other shoe, and that measurement should be, say, within a couple of mil. Now I struggled to do that, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I tried to do a tape measure and I didn't really have anything more accurate to do it with, and it just wasn't great. So I got as close as I could using that method, and then I just basically wound out a few more to the point where I could still get the drum on easily, and it wasn't binding, but I'd say it wasn't far away, because you could wind a bit more and you wouldn't get it on. So you wind it too far, it won't go on. Wind it in, I think it was about 10 notches, and it went on nice and easily. So yeah, so just get it as close as you can before you put it on, and then you have to go to your pedal. So once you've got your shoes closed, the drum's back on, wheels back on, van's back on the ground. Jump in the cab and start it up. So you want your brake servo active and working when you do this, and then you're going to be stomping on the brake pedal a few times. Now I'll be honest, I didn't take any chances. I stomped on mine about 20 or 30 times, I think. The first 5 presses on mine were quite soft, as the automatic adjuster wound the shoes out to where they needed to be, and then it went firm pretty quickly. So yeah, so then took it for a little tentative drive just to make sure everything was good, and the brakes are massively better than they were before, and they're not even bedded in yet, so I'm quite happy with how that's improved things, even though the original shoes and pads weren't that worn. So the change of pads and a bit of maintenance really has worked wonders. So as I've made changes to the shoes and the adjustment bar and everything else, the last part of this video would have been to adjust the handbrake. Now I can't show you that because when I went to start doing it, the front section, the primary handbrake cable or bar, actually sheared off, so it broke off at the balance bar in the middle of the van. So unfortunately I'm now 350 miles away from home with a very limited tool bag. I'm probably going to try and replace that front handbrake section, which will make for an interesting video. So the usual procedure for resetting your handbrake would be to give it a couple of quick yanks. That kind of centers everything, make sure it's as it should be. You bring it up 2 clicks, and then you basically tighten the balance bar on the primary first bar on the first section to the point where the wheels just start to drag, and then you should be about good to go. So if you drop it down to the floor, it shouldn't drag any more at all on the wheels, and if you bring it up maximum about 4 clicks, you should have a nice firm tight handbrake, or at least that's the plan. So we'll do that after we've done the front section, replace that front section. If I can do it here, all this distance from home with limited tools, I will try and show you that while I'm down here. But yeah, if you found this video useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it's free to do it. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.